I know this may sound like other shows we've done in the past, but it's not. However, the results is the same despite some drama. Tadej Pogačar yet again proves that not just the best rider of this generation, but yeah, probably one of the best of all time. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Move podcast, talking about 2025 Strade Bianche. Of course, like always, joined by Mr. George Hincapie over there in Grainville. We were in the pre-show just quizzing George on just how much he's training. I don't know if you guys, you should follow him on Instagram. If you want to be inspired, and by the way, any other former professional cyclist, I might caution you not to watch his Instagram, because this guy rides all the time. But anyways, also
to see you guys. Happy to be
it's
here.
So great to see you. Great. Also joined by Johan over there in Madrid, right? Madrid still? Where are you on? Who knows?
Madrid. Rainy and wet Madrid.
Rainy and wet Madrid. I know this may sound like other shows we've done in the past, but it's not. However, the results is the same despite some drama. Tadej Pogačar yet again proves that not just the best rider of this generation, but yeah, probably one of the best of all time to overcome the crash, getting back up, finishing with a spare bike, abrasions everywhere, still proved he's the best. Fucking guy's a beast. Today's show brought to you by Peak. So as a cyclist, I know that energy, endurance, and digestion can make or break performance, but gut issues and sluggish energy could still hold me back. No matter how much I trained, I'd feel heavy and bloated after meals, and my energy would crash when I needed it most. That all changed when I discovered Peak's Pure Teas. Green Pure has become my go-to pre-ride fuel. It gives me calm, steady energy without the jitters or crashes. And Black Pure, it's my post-ride recovery secret, supporting digestion, reducing bloating, and leaving me feeling light and ready to go again. Using a lot of this, getting ready for George this summer. For a limited time, get 20% off for life, plus a free starter kit. And you grab the Pure bundle with my link, Peak Life. And just so you know, Peak is not how you think it's spelled. It's PIQUELIFE, peaklife.com/themove. And with Peak's 90-day money-back guarantee, you've got nothing to lose. Try it now at peaklife.com/themove. Feel the difference on your next ride. Also today brought to you by Maui Nui, the healthiest red meat you'll ever eat. 100% wild harvest and stress-free process delivers the highest protein to calorie ratio, up to 53% more than grass-fed beef. Their sugar-free peppered stick packs pack in 10 grams of protein at just 55 calories, loaded with essential nutrients, vitamins, and healthy fats. Incredibly clean tasting and unmatched tenderness. Here's the kicker for me. No gamey taste. It's just savory and satisfying. It's a great snack on the go, delivered directly to your doorstep. Delicious and a healthy way to stay fueled. Maui Nui offers the only 100% wild harvested meat that's completely stress-free, like George's life, and responsibly sourced. It's perfect for anyone looking to elevate their meals with delicious, high-quality protein. Maui Nui Venison is offering the Move listeners a limited collection of our favorite cuts and products, but supply is limited by the nature of their work. So don't wait. Head to MauiNuiVenison.com/themove to secure your access now. Again, that's MauiNuiVenison.com/themove. And Maui Nui Venison is spelled MAUI, like the island in Hawaii. Maui Nui, Nui, Maui Nui Venison, Venison, MauiNuiVenison.com/themove. Let's talk about Strade Bianche. By the way, what a fun race to watch. Like, I love it. This is one of those ones. And I was actually watching with a friend of mine who came over this morning. And for people that don't watch a ton of cycling, like, wow, what are we watching? It's just so special. And of course, George, you and I were there a couple of years ago. And if anybody's looking for a place to just go chill and ride their bike and not ride with a bunch of cars, like, this might be one of the top 5 places in the world.
I agree. That is a stunning place to ride. I actually remember quite fondly when we were talking about the trip, and Mr. Lance always calls me like bougie and prima donna.
Yep.
He actually asked me to send him a diagram of the plane that we were flying over there so he can make sure he had enough room so he could sleep. Otherwise, he wasn't sure if he can go. So I'm not sure who the bougie one is here, but like Lance said, one of the best races of the year. I've ridden it 2 times, 2011, 2012. It is one of the most stressful races, one of the races that requires the most technical ability, like we saw today. And I mean, we've seen it progress over the years where, it's one rider maybe stronger than the rest. And it's usually like a field of 10 to 15 guys, especially when I did it. But now it's like Johan mentioned in the pre-production show, 1 by 1. And basically the first 10 guys came in 1 by 1, which shows you how damn hard this race actually has become.
Well, it's just real quick, Johan. It's just on that. It's 4,000 meters of total climbing. So there you're at over 13,000 feet for people who think in feet. And if you just watch the race, you see this, right? These are not 3, 4, 5, 6 mile climbs. These are short, punchy climbs. But if you watch, I mean, it's just never flat. It's constantly up or down.
Yeah, and also I think over the years they've progressively toughened the race. It's about 215 kilometers. As you say, more than 4,000 meters. I think at the beginning, George, that was not the case. I mean, if we think Cancellara won this race 3 times, there's no way Cancellara wins a race of 4,000 meters normally. I think it was more around 2,500 in the beginning, and progressively they've added more sections and more climbs. And now you have to be, a climb. If you look, I mean, the top 5: Pogačar, Pitcock, Wellens, Healy, Pello Bilbao. I mean, those are all climbers. If you're a more bulky classics type of rider, there's no way anymore you can win this.
Well, especially the way they race it, like we saw. I think 100K to go. There was only 30 guys, maybe 35 guys in the first group chasing the breakaway. UAE full gas to the front, using some of the best climbers in the world. Isaac Del Toro just mashing it on the front with 90, 85, 90Ks to go, which is typically a long ways to go, but they just want to make it as hard as possible for Pogačar. And when Pogačar attacked with, I think, 79, 80K to go, he essentially didn't even look back once to ask for help for Pitcock for like 4 or 5K. They went, caught the breakaway. He stayed on the front. It's incredible. I mean, the guy just has no fear and is just so confident.
Yeah, not the same performance as last year. I think, thankfully for us, for folks watching, but I would say 90% of that performance, to your point, George, just didn't look back. Pitcock on the wheel, out of the saddle, sprinting, and just going back to the team as well, like putting guys, 3 guys, 4 guys, whatever, on the front. I think it's interesting to sort of break down the psychology of that. If you are those guys that have to be on the front, right? You've been that guy before, George. It's one thing if you have 100 people on your wheel. It's another thing when the race has already been thinned out and you've got 25, 30 guys swinging on the wheel. Like that makes it a lot more fun. I mean, again, you've done it. I have not. And then to have Tim Wellens end up, it shows you the power, the dominance of this team. And Tim Wellens is a hell of a rider, but what a demonstration for UAE.
I think what really, keeps surprising me. We shouldn't be surprised, but it does still surprise me how confident these guys are all the time. They just go to the front. They know exactly how much power they can put out for such an amount of time. And when Del Toro was pulling, Pogačar kept looking behind, and he knew perfectly that when Wellens was going to go, he was going to do like a maximum a kilometer, and there were 6 guys left. And then on top of that, Pogačar didn't even have to initiate the attack. Pitcock, credit to Pitcock.
Yep.
We all know how dominant Pogačar is. This guy came in to win. I saw his interview before. He obviously acknowledges the superiority of Pogačar, but says, hey, I'm here to win. And he tried everything he could. And hats off to him. It was an amazing performance of him.
There's no doubt. And he Pogačar's bad luck was potentially his good luck. I was wildly impressed. with Pogačar, and I also was slightly jealous and envious that, boy, it's just nice to be young. But you see how quick he bounced up. I mean,
I mean, you mentioned maybe his performance wasn't as good as last year. I say arguably it's even better. I mean, for all of us to have a crash like that, end up in the ditch, get back on your bike. I mean, most guys go into full panic mode. They probably go way over their limit to try to catch back up. Had to stop again to get on his spare bike at the bottom of a really tough section and just reel in Pitcock like no big deal, and ends up riding him off his wheel. I thought it was an incredible performance.
Yeah. And I was only saying that in the context of last year, him saying to the entire field before the race, this is where I'm going to attack. So meet me there, basically, and just still rides away. Right. So that, yes, that did not happen. And so all I'm saying is sort of 90% of that type of dominance. Yes. If you factor in the crash, how quickly you bounced back, pulled back, Pitcock, then just did his thing. Yeah. I'm certainly not trying to minimize his ride today by whatever percentage.
Johan, at what point?
But a different, I mean, with this kid, was this the kind of thing? I mean, what would happen if the gods came down and said, okay, you're just so good, this is kind of boring for everybody, you got to start 5 minutes behind? I mean, who would bet against that? Would we bet against? I would not bet against that.
Well, not only that, are we going to start seeing, and this is a question for Johan, like he's winning everything he sets out to win. Are they going to have to start changing their tactics? We're like, okay, we want to race for the win, but you can't work with the guy. Like a guy like Pitcock, at some point, the director was going to say, you just got to sit on his wheel and just risk that you guys get caught and hope a teammate comes back. Because right now, anybody that works with him is going to get ridden off the wheel. The way as good as he's going.
That's tough when you're Tom Pidcock.
I know.
I don't think Tom Pidcock, with his resume, and it's a deep resume. I think that would, and I'm sure he's a prideful guy. That would be tough to do. Is that a tactic or an option or perhaps a good one? Yeah, but I don't think a rider like him could do that.
It's also, you have to see the situation. If you're Pitcock and his team, right? You find yourself in, with these two riders, and okay, if Pitcock doesn't work and they get caught, they probably don't get second. And at some point, I mean, I don't know what you guys think, but at some point after the crash, Pogačar came back. We could debate whether Pitcock has waited or not. Did he really wait at the beginning? Did he just wait at the end? That's debatable. But to me, when I saw Pogačar, I had the impression he didn't look that dominant. He didn't look the dominant guy of the two for a few kilometers, It's actually, and I was communicating with somebody in the race who had an interest in the situation.
Who was that?
I can't say.
Here it is.
But
I just like asking because I like hearing you say that. I think that's fucking cool.
But I was saying, hey, you know what? It doesn't look, Pogačar doesn't look so strong anymore. I haven't seen him at all since his crash. We'll see what happens. But then, and Pitcock actually looked confident and he looked smooth. Knowing his skills on the gravel, you could say, well, maybe he has a chance. But then he just accelerated on that steep stretch of the what was it, that second last the gravel stroke, and it was unbelievable. I mean, the difference was crazy. I mean, initially Pitcock was trying, and then all of a sudden you say, okay, I'm giving up. He's gone.
But is there some hybrid answer here, George? Right. And we talked in the middle of the race and you remarked that in your opinion, Pitcock was just doing too much work. So you threw out just not working with a guy like Pogačar, right? So is there some way where and we all know how this goes, you can just take soft pulls and skip some pulls and make up some excuses and not do as much work? Yeah. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, I mean, I agree that his performance was just head over heels better than anybody. And everybody was talking about why would Pitcock wait or should it be not weighted? I think it was actually he probably just kept going his pace And perhaps over the radio, he's hearing like you're losing 5 seconds here, 5 seconds there. So it's inevitable. In my mind, my opinion is probably he knew it was inevitable that he was going to get caught. So why not save a little bit of energy and get caught a bit earlier? I think that's kind of what went through his mind there. Still thinking he had a chance to win.
Yeah.
But I think we also need to point out, even before Pogačar crashed, I mean, on TV, you could just see the risks that he's taking. I don't know if he's trying to show Pitcock how good he is on the descents or how good but like a guy that's favored to win the Tour de France and has so much left on his plate for the year. It's like you're thinking in the back of your mind, like, why take all these risks if you're just putting time on all the people chasing you on every climb anyway? Like, why take these risks? I know it's easier to say afterwards when he crashed and say you shouldn't have done it, but in my mind, it's like you always have to have your eye on the rest of the year as well. And it just, I mean, he was clearly going way too fast on these corners.
And he said
that in the post-race interview.
He said in the interview that he's done that race like that's rode like 20 times. Now, my question, George and Lance, would it be possible that this is a technical issue in that sense that most of the teams are riding bigger tires than normal? Most of the teams are riding 30 millimeters. I'm going to guess that UAE was on 32 millimeters because Pogačar normally rides 30 already standard. Less tire pressure, and he crashed on a normal road.
Yeah.
Would that be a possibility that's why he crashed? Because he's usually, I mean, he's recon probably that. I mean, probably also with the same tires, but I'm just guessing. Maybe the dust or whatever.
Yeah. Look, we know how it goes. I mean, it just come in a little hot. Maybe just you just got to take a split-second nap, and then down you go. We should give a shout out. I mean, we're talking a lot about Tom Pidcock. We know, and others will learn. Of course, left Ineos, goes to a second division team in Q36.5. Big transfer for a team like that. Boy, if this is your first day on the big stage, and you're a second division team, a Swiss-based team, coming, wanting to make a move, is a good look. There's a lot of other teams you'd think about it, right? You had an Ineos rider in there for a while who benefited from being in the break, but hell of a day for Q36.5. Obviously, they hired an incredible talent, generational talent, and Tom Pidcock could do everything. Perfect race for him. Obviously very strong. Technically does this course in his sleep. Right? Technically, he's the best. But I thought it was an outstanding showing for them. Had a guy in the break. They were present.
I think the transfer worked out really well.
I think they're looking pretty smart.
I think they have more wins already this year than in the total of last year. Plus, you see that a rider like Pitcock coming to the team, he's a strong leader, very ambitious, lifts the level of the whole team. It's not just Pitcock who rides well. The whole team rides well, So I think that was a really good move.
Yep.
Go
ahead, George.
Go ahead. Well, he had a teammate in the break, and I know we don't really see that coverage here in the U.S., but I can assure you making that breakaway was a very, very difficult task. And those guys worked super hard to get in that break. And even though his teammate didn't get the chance to help him that much, but he still had the presence of a teammate in the breakaway, which gives you a bit more freedom to ride up in the front and takes a little bit of a pressure off of the whole team as a whole.
Yeah. We'll continue to break down more of this action. I want to give a special shout out to somebody else in the race today too. But before we do, today's show also brought to you by AG1. We've been talking about this for years. What's that mean? That means, and it's actually true, we've been taking control of our health for years. There is not a day that goes by that I don't start with AG1. I spend about, 30-40% of my time traveling. Never fails. I've got the AG1 travel packs. Just the best way to start my day, I have found, and as have so many others. I've mentioned my buddy who came over to watch the race, walks in with his AG1. I was like, my man. It's just really caught on. And certainly if you're like me, who's just not great, although I brag on myself for a sec. I did eat broccoli last night. Anna made this thing, chicken and with broccoli, and I ate all my broccoli. All right, cool. I was hoping for some love on that.
Nice job.
But by and large, fruits, vegetables, I'm not the best. Well, I got my hack. My hack is AG1, taking control of my health, especially when it comes to gut health. I've become pretty passionate about this lately and trying to figure out and learn as much as I can about gut health. So new this year, right? Try AG1 for yourself. It's the perfect time to start a new healthy habit. And that's why I've been partnering with them for so long, them being AG1. They're offering new subscribers a free $76 gift when you sign up. 76. That's an easy one to remember. You'll get a welcome kit, a bottle of D3K2, which most of us are also low in vitamin D, and 5 free travel packs in your first box. So make sure you check out drinkag1.com/themove to get this offer. Again, that's drinkag1.com/themove. Take control of your health. Last one of the day brought to you by OneSkin. So dry skin, deeper wrinkles, all this stuff that happens. I'm 53, George is 57. These things start to happen all the time. He's in the saddle out there in the sun, grinding, trying to hold his son's wheel. Look at his face. Look at that face. It looks fine, right? No visible signs of aging. That's because the man is all over the OneSkin. The key to OneSkin is this scientifically proven peptide called OS1. Now, this is proven to decrease lines and wrinkles, boost hydration, and help with the thinning skin that often comes with age. And don't just take our word for it. They've got over 4,000, count them, 4,000 5-star reviews on their full lineup of face, body, sun, and travel size products. OneSkin is the world's first skin longevity company. By focusing on the cellular aspects of aging, OneSkin keeps your skin looking and acting younger for longer. Get started today with 15% off using the code THEMOVE at oneskin.co. That's oneskin.co, and the code is THEMOVE. My special shout out, and if you watch enough bike racing, you're getting this. You've gotten the memo here. Ben Healy, this kid is, and I feel, and I'm going to say that he got 4th today, right? That's sort of, in a lot of ways, that's kind of the worst place to get. I mean, it's a great result, get the points, get the TV time, et cetera, but you're not on the podium. This kid is always in it. I don't know what he's got some drive. I really have grown to love his style and admire. I mean, it doesn't matter the race, year round. Like, he's just, I don't know if there's a breakthrough there. Who knows? But special shout out to him. He's always in it.
Yeah, I agree. And he said in his post-race interview that, he really wanted to get a result today, and made a conscious decision not to try to go with Pogačar, because he said so many people try to go with him and then blow up and not end up anywhere. So I think he was quite pleased with his 4th place. Obviously, Tim Wellens was sort of able to get a free ride and attack there near the end, which was also a great ride, but definitely on the same level as Ben Healy, and it was a great result for him.
Another shout, just real quick on that. Another shout out. How about and in Italy, they call them the tifosi, right? That's the fans. Boy, how cool. What a look. Like, you're watching and you're like, man, this is, you want to go back and do it. Fans were out today.
Yeah, no, it's a big, it has, for being such a relatively young race, This race has become quite the event. It's also one of most of the Italian races are on Saturdays, the classics, and then they have the Gran Fondo. Tomorrow, the Strade Bianche are going to be full of cyclists, I think, like 15,000 in total. So lots of people are there already for the event of tomorrow.
Johan, I heard a rumor
is tomorrow the Eroica thing, or is it a different? Because this was all inspired by the race they did, the Eroica. Is tomorrow Eroica, or is tomorrow a different?
Yeah. It's called Strade Bianche. It's not Eroica. Eroica is with vintage bikes, right?
No, I know, but that was all. I mean, if you go back and search it up, they did do this whether you call it a Fondo or whatever, called Eroica, where you had to ride a retro or a vintage bike, and it could only have, I don't know how specific they got. I want to say they said you couldn't have, you had to have down tube shifters. You couldn't have index shifting. You have to have down tube shifters. You have to have
You can't ride with the pedals of like the clip pedal. You have to have the
toe clips.
You have to have the cables of the brake levers on the outside. So anyway, and steel, of course, no carbon or aluminum. But I think that it started. I mean, I think initially it was called Gran Premio Eroica, but not anymore now. Not anymore now. So the event tomorrow is just the Gran Fondo. I think it's big. I mean, you have probably three different models. The total one, and then 140 or 70 kilometers of the. But it's very popular, super popular, and it's going to be amazing.
It's one of the few races, not few, but along with Paris-Roubaix, Flanders, that puts a lot of emphasis on hospitality packages around it. Lots of different groups do camps surrounding Strade Bianche. So, and then of course all the fans make it super special. And like Lance and I discovered 2 years ago, it's just an amazing place to go ride your bike. The best views in the entire world, great food, and it's just a super special place.
If you watch the race, I mean, you got that in spades, like those helicopter shots. You're just like, damn, where's this time machine? Just take me straight there. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. That's where you called me fat too. Remember that, George?
I know, man. That's
you thought here we're like 20, 30 minutes into this thing. You thought you were going to get away with it, folks. For those that listened a couple summers ago, yes. This was the trip.
Every time I see them shirtless posts on Instagram, I'm kind of proud that I inspired this whole new Lance Armstrong revolution. Looking good.
You want some of that?
Good. And I didn't call him fat. I just said, I don't even know what I said.
You said I could stand to lose 5 pounds, is what you said.
Oh, man.
That's what you said. I was beat down from getting dropped to come to the hotel. By the way, this hotel was fucking, I was like, man, I ain't called family. I'm not coming home. I'm staying here. I'm staying here. And I was beat down. I got dropped at the climb up to this hotel. And then you called me fat on top of that.
I have a different version of the events of how it played out, but I'm definitely looking a lot better lately.
Well, you've inspired me. I've been tracking it, and I know that here we are. By the way, folks, too. I mean, how are we already in March? Crazy. But I've only got a few months. So, I'm tracking you, and I'm inspired. So I know I got to get my shit together and get out of the gym and start getting back on the bike and getting that aerobic engine going again, because it's going to be ugly if I don't.
Not only that, but we're doing a ride in a few weeks in your hometown in Austin. We're going to cover Tour of Flanders, and we do a ride at your bike shop, Mellow Johnny's.
Yep.
So that should be a fun weekend.
That will not be. I can manage that one. I can manage it. Riding in the summer in Aspen at 8,000 feet is you cannot manage. You just have to pedal.
It's more the 1 versus 1 that you're worried about with George, I'm guessing.
No, I would be very worried about that today. And yeah, look, I mean, I work full time, Johan.
I know.
George trains full time. But you know what? In all fairness, I see what's going on here, right? Enzo is just continues seemingly every week to just, I track him too. Just gets better and better. My kids are not cyclists, right? So I do whatever they want to do. If my son every day was like, Dad, let's go do intervals for 4 hours. Well, guess what? I'd be doing intervals for 4 hours. I would love that. So you're doing the right thing. It's not going to feel very nice to your friend Lance.
Yeah.
The same goes for you, Johan. By the way, you're riding your bike a lot more now because Christian. I mean, if right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So
I'm older. I'm a lot older than you guys. So for me, it's really. I mean, it's impossible to keep up.
I know. I did say, you seemed older when you got that little glint in your eyes when you were talking about toe clips and cables coming out of the top of the brakes. And
I rode with those. You guys probably didn't ride with those.
I rode with toe clips.
Yeah, we all did. Okay. But you were reminiscing. Like this was a special. Like you could just feel the fucking whatever, the zen or whatever they call it. Like it was taking you back to a happy place. Isegum riding around.
I like the bikes from back then. I think it's art. Some of these bikes are art, real art. Now it's just mass production.
Yeah. What else we got? What else stood out today?
Well, it'd be interesting to see. And Pogačar said after his interview that he was riding on full adrenaline, but as soon as he crossed the line, he could feel the pain, and hopefully he's not too injured. I mean, he was jacked up on both sides of the body, which you don't always see.
He's not injured. Don't worry.
No, he's not. But he's going to be. Tomorrow's going to be sore. Tomorrow will be unpleasant.
He's going to be sore.
Yeah.
Definitely
anytime you road rash like that, it's you have the impact. I mean, you said it. He crashed on pavement, so that you feel. But everything is compromised, right? Yeah. Sleep, position. He's going to be sore for a few days. But I mean, the cycling world can only hope. I mean,
for Milan-San Remo, he'll have to recover from this now. He doesn't race Paris, so but he'll be fine. Now, I'm curious to see Milan-San Remo actually. What's going to happen there? This is one of the riders that we can perfectly see break the traditional scenario. And I would love to see him go on the Cipressa instead of on the Poggio.
Yeah, and it was in today's race also we saw some of the dominant teams of this season so far, like Alpes and Phoenix. We didn't really even see them that much, so I think we'll get the best of all these guys in San Remo going head to head. So it'll be fun to watch.
No, Van Aert is not doing Milan-San Remo. I think Van der Poel is, I guess. Yeah. Anyways, I think Pogačar is he wants to make Remo really bad, and he needs to go really to do that.
So in terms of total wins in 2025, what does that get him to, Johan?
But he won 2 stages in UAE. Also, this is fourth win.
Fourth win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even if you think back, and of course, I was that guy for a year. It was the thing, right? The curse of the rainbow jersey. I mean, this guy they're just not curses, right? He's just that good and that dominant and that dialed. And you were talking about his team. I mean, this team just knows, right? They go to bed the night before going, all right, well, let's just go phone this in. And they wake up the next day going, there's our guy. Like they are 100% sure, 100, not 75%. They are 100% sure he's going to do the job.
I listened to an interview yesterday of one of his teammates. I mean, not the guy, Marc Soler, who's, on the tour team and stuff. And he was talking, they were asking about what it was to be the teammate of Pogačar. He said, well, on the one hand, it's amazing because he's so good and that if everything goes all right, he's going to finish it off. But the extra pressure it brings for every single rider to be exactly at the moment they expect them to be there, you have to be there. That's stressful too for the teammates. Obviously, I think there's a big difference with Team UAE when Pogačar's racing and he's not racing. It's a completely different team. When Pogačar's racing, it's a machine. It's like bam, bam, bam. We execute, done. And the guys are usually all there when they have to be there. Whenever he's not there, sometimes it can be a bit of a chaos. And of course, they have a lot of good riders, and those riders are ambitious too, and they all want to win. And sometimes I've seen that there's maybe not real clear agreements. And but I mean, you have to say it was already last year, the year before, and they keep improving. It's by far the best team in the world. About that.
Well, we got 2 weeks till Milan-San Remo.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it hard to believe, Johan, what you were curious about, whether he could go on the Cipressa. That would be amazing. I would love to see it. I just think that's hard to do, but we're going to find out in 2 weeks.
Well, it's hard to do. Yes. What I think they will probably do, and we'll talk about it in 2 weeks after the race, is that they'll for sure make the race super, super hard on the Cipressa. So it's maybe easier to get away on the Poggio. But, for everybody who has been riding those 2 climbs, those climbs are not really hard. They're just hard because they're after such a long distance. But it's difficult to drop someone.
Yeah.
The Cipressa, it's going to be fast on the Cipressa. There's not going to be 50 riders on top of Cipressa.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we'll see.
And we will see. All right. Anything else? Let everybody get out of here.
That's it for me.
Yeah, so for me.
Boys, thanks for coming on, as always. And the other thing to know is Wigo coming on? He's doing the San Remo show, right? I should know these things. I know he's coming for Flanders. I know he's live and in person for the tour. Sir Bradley Wiggins.
Yeah.
Just kicking ass. I mean, absolutely kicking ass. On all levels, which is dope to see. I know he's going to be in Austin because I know this because I talked to him yesterday. So that'll be cool. But anyways, looking forward to it. Everybody.
I do the ride also for Metal Johnny's, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I can take him for sure. I cannot take George yet, but I can take Wigo for sure. And if Johan, you showed up, I know I can take you.
Hey.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Yep.